Hi Gemini, hope you guys are doing great today. Happy New Year. So these are going to be general messages for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the year of 2020. I'm going to be pulling out the major aspects, transits that are going to be impacting you guys this year. And we're going to be doing 3 different types of course of action spreads. It'll make sense to you as we go along, but for now, let's get started on pulling a crowning energy. So I'm going to be doing a separate reading for obviously each of the months, but certainly one for January next week. Okay, so I'm not going to labor over every little thing that's going to be going on, just pulling some general energies, but we do need to mention the Saturn conjunct Pluto in January. So this aspect is, it can bring pressure to succeed for Geminis. You might be tearing something down right now that you can rebuild so that it can end up being better and more appropriate and more relevant to the path that you want to be on. And since this alignment happens in your intimacy sector, you might be working very diligently on better handling your attachments, all attachments, the debt, intimate relationships, your support systems, having to do with friends and family, and any sort of like initiatives that you might be taking on right now, any kind of ventures, and just really stripping away what's unproductive in these areas. It's definitely going to be a focus now, just in general for this whole year. This is about rebuilding and restructuring and making some solid changes that revitalize your finances and therefore your lifestyle and your relationships. And fortunately, you have very helpful influences for rebuilding in these areas, for sure. And we're going to talk about those, okay? But let's get this crowning first, and let's see what we get. Ooh, Leo, I like it. I like it. Leo energy. This is going to be Gemini. You guys are going to be front and center this year, for sure, all right? Really, you really are. It's the center of something. So this could have to do with maybe some of you are going to be getting an award, or I don't know, even some of you a television appearance, something to do with, making videos of some sort, ending up at a conference, speaking at a conference, some sort of public forum, any place where people gather. This is about Gemini tapping into that mercurial communicative energy. Really great. Creativity should be part of this. So you're definitely taking part, something having to do with something creative that you're working on. For many of you, children or youth or people who were young at heart, I know that sounds silly, but can kind of figure into this dynamic as well. But this is a time for standing out and making sure that you're counted, right? You're going to be very appreciated during this energy for your unique qualities, your abilities, what you bring to the table. And it's all about to happen. Your life is soon going to be filled with, I want to say fun, but it's not just fun, because fun's such kind of like a lame word, isn't it? Anyway, what does it even mean, fun? But it's really you feeling like you're tapping into your creativity, which ends up being fun. It's a lot of optimism here, like a very kind of sprightly, youthful kind of optimism. And guys, this is, connected to tarot, because this is the moon astrology, black moon astrology cards. But in tarot, this would be equivalent to the strength card, right? Because it's Leo. So, this is just about you just being out there. So Leo does rule the 5th house too. So this energy can indicate romance entering your life. That's generous and open and playful. And Geminis love that, right? So this can be a connection where you guys will work together on an idea, or possibly ventures with a vision that'll end up creating new things for the public to enjoy. So I don't know, maybe you guys are going into business together, you're creating some sort of project together, maybe you work together, but I do feel many of you are going to be meeting people where there's that kind of connection there. Or maybe they're in your energy field already and you end up connecting with them in a different way. A lot of you, appearance is going to matter a lot this year. So the way you appear to others is important now, and this energy does indicate growth in both reputation and career. So a lot of you might go for a new look. If you're looking to change careers or your hair or your friend group, or there's changes happening here that has to do with like external changes. If a job emphasizes team players, you're soon going to be one of those leaders, though. You're not really going to be like so much a follower, but because whatever it is, this energy indicates you're going to be at the center of whatever it is. Okay? And the pleasure principle is definitely going to be heavily at play here. So just, you're going to be tempted to spend a lot of money. You can take some risks that are going to pay off, but just be mindful. I always, want to give caution whenever I get that energy. But, also, you may experience strange and exotic circumstances where you'll have to play a role a little different than you normally do. So your routine could come down to you wearing different hats other than the ones that you normally do. You being in a different role than one that you normally are, because of the way situations are going to be rolling out. And I'm really not shocked that I'm getting this energy, because we have such, the energy of Uranus in here, and you do have a lot of Neptunian influences. So I do feel like there are going to be changes in a lot of areas on many different fronts. This is a very deep, intimate, transformative space that these energies are hitting you. So really cool. So the first course of action spread I'm going to be pulling is actually going to be about yourself. And I feel called to do that and title it that because of the depth and the level of introspection that's going to be going on with the archetype of Gemini. And you might have other things in your chart. Of course you do. Not maybe. Everybody does. So definitely check out your rising, and especially your rising sign and your moon sign as well, to get a real full picture of what's happening here. So the course of action spread, I'll explain the 4 cards as we go along. The first one is your current situation, core. This is at your core, okay? Second is what you need to keep your eye on, okay? And this is what we're talking about with self right now, Gemini self. Next one is action you should take in your near future. I like it, caution. Okay, and then the outcome position, this is going to be based on current energies. You could always change it. Got the star reverse, so let's get right into this. Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about the self thing here. We had Jupiter sextiling Neptune from February to October. Okay, this is what we need to be mindful of with this energy. So this transit helps us to maintain a sense of proportion and to consider our morals and our spiritual values. Really what speaks to our heart space, right? To pursue our objectives. So it's a time for connecting with idealistic and for many of us, humanitarian goals, making connections with people from very different backgrounds, who are different than us, learning from their perspectives, just really widening your experience, widening your mind, broadening your mind, okay? And this doesn't only impact your intimate world and feelings. This is so deep, okay, that this influence impacts not only that space and feelings of self-empowerment, but also your career and your life path. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is like a very big energy. It's a subtle boost that increases your feelings of purpose and meaningfulness, though. So this is an uplifting transit for you that suggests a new way of looking at your life path and relationships, projects, and lovers that benefit you greatly. As you see romance, imagination, beauty, all in connection with your aspirations. This is the Ace of Cups. This is newness, though. There's a newness about this Gemini. So this is you getting in touch with you really wanting to do things differently. Does that make sense to you? And then in your heart space, this covers everything. Your career, what you really want to do, heart space, intimate relationships, heart space, connecting with people, your friends, feeling close to your family. And look, while this year is about, it's going to be hard in some ways. I'm not going to lie. But it's the ebb and flow of everything. You can't have change without a little bit of pain. It's like not possible. Think about the butterfly cracking out of the chrysalis, right? It's not comfortable. Okay, but this transit helps you find moments of downtime, of detox, relaxation, enjoying yourself with this Jupiter sextile Neptune. Absolutely. It also reminds you of the value of feeding your spirit. Very important for Geminis this year. Imagination is very important this year. Romantic needs alongside your more career-driven pursuits. Very important for you to find balance in all of this. And you really, not only are you identifying what you need in all of these areas, but you're also going to be focused on how to balance all of those things together. So it's a time of increased personal meaning and purpose, particularly through your deep relationships and your careers and attachments. I mean, it's like everything. Group cooperation might further your career this year, though. I do want to say that. It's getting into something new where there's some sort of group cooperation. So this can definitely indicate maybe you're joining forces with somebody who shares the same vision as you, ideas, interests, something idealistic and humanitarian impulses can come to the forefront for you, like an openness to possibilities in general that can really help you advance towards your goals. So you really want to find tangible ways here with this Ace of Cups energy to really express your compassion, get in touch with what it is that you want in all of these areas. I mean, but there's a newness here, and you being really ready for the newness, and the newness happening, right? Because the ace is showing up, so the newness is happening. And what to keep your eye on is the Queen of Pentacles, reverse. So you want to keep your eye out for any situation that's not going to serve you in the way that, if career, if it's not going to bring you the money that you ultimately need, do not entertain it. Watch out. I mean, this is the keep your eye out for position. Keep your eye out for people or situations that are not going to be completely supportive of you and your needs and what you're looking for moving forward. This has to do with a relationship. If you know that you really need somebody to show up in a certain way for you to be happy, where they're very communicative and they're very expressive and, there's accountability and they're hard workers, identifying what it is that you need, how you need somebody to show up. If you meet somebody and they don't have those boxes, I mean, everybody's going to be perfect for every box checked, but these core things that are very, very important to you, keep your eye out for that. If they're not connecting, if they're not communicating, if you don't feel like there is an easy connection, that's what I wanted to say. There was a long way of getting to what I actually was trying to say. If there's not an easy connection in areas in your life, it's not meant to be. This is all about it doesn't have to be so hard. That friendship should not take so much out of you. That intimate relationship, it should not be hard. If you feel like you're not getting your work done, if you feel like you're constantly preoccupied with the issues within your intimate relationship, if you feel like it's impacting your mental and physical health, it doesn't belong. Pay attention. Time to kick it to the curb. I hate to say that, but it's time to really get in touch with that and transition it out of your life. Action you need to take in the near future. Ace of Wands reverse. The Ace of Wands reverse is delay. It's also a lack of motivation. So the way I'm understanding this is you are not going to give 1 ounce of energy into any situation with a person, a job, a friendship, a family situation that is not meeting what you need to move forward. If they're not connecting with you, if they're not treating you respectfully, if they're not really filling your heart space, if you're feeling all kinds of like bad and ugly within that situation, if you don't like the version of yourself that you are in that connection, in that job, whatever it is, you're not going to be able to stay in it. You're not staying in it. I mean, this is the action that you should have, the one of disconnect. This is where you start to drop things off. The dead wood is falling off your tree, Gemini. It's fallen off. You're not having the motivation for the things that just don't speak to you. You got your eye out for things that aren't going to speak to you, and you're not going to be moving forward. You're just not. Now, the outcome position, based on the current energies, now you can always change this, but what I get here is, because the star is all about healing. It's the kind of healing where there's a healing and forgiveness and a new start can happen. And what I'm getting here is, throughout this Plutonian influence, it's not going to happen. You're for yourself, you are dropping things off at the corner, Gemini. You're letting go of all the old baggage that you know you're carrying around from past relationships that's just not serving you. You're not forgiving it anymore. You're not hugging the scars anymore. You're not allowing it to happen. You're not going to forgive the people who have done you dirty. You're done with that. They shouldn't have done what they did, and that's it. Period. The end of the sentence. Okay? You're recognizing why you allowed these things in your life in the first place. You're forgiving yourself, but you're not letting it go. You know, forgive outside extenuating circumstances for what they're worth, just to free yourself, and then that's it. But this is you not allowing for things to continue in your life anymore, because this is your core. Your core. This is not you playing any more games with yourself, Gemini. For real. This is you getting really honest. And I got to tell you, we have the North Node heading into Gemini in the summer. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But honestly, everything we've been going through with the Cancer Capricorn eclipse, it's going to be all about Gemini and Sagittarius next, hitting in the summer. So we are getting ready for this. And part of entering this space in the healthiest way, for it to go the smoothest as possible, is to seriously be honest with ourselves, deep inside of ourselves, and ask ourselves, what is working and what no longer works. And you got to get rid of the stuff that doesn't work. Expiration date stuff. Stop making yourself drink expired milk and eat moldy bread. You know, we'll do it. You'll do it. Forgive yourself and move it forward. That's it. Next spread. Relationships. Venus retrograde in your sign this year, my friend, suggests you learning and reinforcing self-love, and it is fantastic. Absolutely, for real. I mean, there could be ups and downs. What kind of shuffle was that, Jackie? I don't even know. Okay, do-over. There can be some ups and downs this year. It's essential, and it's essentially a time for really allowing your heart to catch up with the rest of you. Venus transits your sign for a crazy 4 months, from April 3rd to August 7th. So it's like, honestly, like the spring into the summer, and is retrograde within that period only from May 13th to June 25th. So there's going to be plenty of attention to you and your ability to attract what you need in your life. But around that same time, we have those nodal energies, okay? So the North Node heads into your sign, right, like I mentioned a minute ago, suggesting even more emphasis on self-discovery. Eclipses are getting personal for you in 2020. You're learning a lot about your independence and relationship needs. So, honestly, your hidden sectors, like I call them, like, our Pandora boxes inside, right? Uranus, for one, is determined to pull up some long-held secrets or things that you've been overlooking, Gemini. And this is great, because this is going to help you detach from things that have been holding you back from starting fresh and living your life authentically and freely. So with this transit, you know, watch for the erratic self-sabotage moments that we can all be prone to, okay? Because there is so much going on below the surface that it can be really challenging to like keep track of it all and feel grounded. So, you know, really an awesome year for those Geminis who don't meditate, to get into meditation or some really great workout programs where you have to have a direction of energy. I can't emphasize this enough. This is going to be a profound year of energetic levels. So it's important in a way to stay balanced, that you have a release or an outlet. So if it's not meditation, if it's not a really good workout program, you need to have something that you throw your energies into to have as kind of like a release valve to keep yourself balanced and grounded. I hope that makes sense to you. All right, so let's go right back to that course of action spread now that we discussed that a bit. Current, your core, what's at your core? The High Priest reverse. What to keep your eye on? What to watch out for? Ace of Swords, new beginning, woohoo! Okay, and then we have the action you should take in your near future, Page of Swords. Okay. Outcome position based on the current energies, the moon. Light like this. Another one got the moon. I like getting that moon in that position. High Priest reverse. Core right now, having to do with relationships. You're just not sure, Gemini. And that is okay. You're just not sure. You're in the middle of growing, of transforming right now. This is all about what you thought you needed in your relationships. You're not really even sure if you needed that. Did you need it because society told you you needed that? Did you need it because your partner was saying that you needed it? Like, where is the framework? Where did the framework come from that you've been functioning in regarding your relationships? And maybe it was just all self-generated, stuff you picked up along life, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the idea here is that you're in a position right now where you're really trying to turn your high priest upright, which is all about trying to figure out exactly what it is that's going to serve you in your relationships and what's going to make your heart happy. And why haven't you been ending up with people who maybe have been able to give that to you? You know, and for many of you who are in relationships right now, this might be you realizing that what you're in right now isn't really speaking to you anymore. Now, this certainly doesn't mean that everybody's going to be running to divorce court or breaking up. Absolutely not. But there's nothing wrong with identifying how maybe you've changed and evolved within the relationship and being able to communicate this with your partner, because Gemini, all of you are changing and you're all going into a new cycle. So where you're at right now simply can't exist in the same way that it is. The energies aren't going to allow it. So you can either go along with it and be ahead of the curve and have everything kind of roll out in a much more positive way, or you can fight it and have the energies take things away for you or make the changes for you. And I don't say that to be scary in any way. I think, you know, those of you who are really in touch, and I think many of you are, we're all on a different point of our path of discovery, of course, but for many of you who are well into your path of discovery, you know what I'm talking about. When we don't change things that we know are not good for us, it puts us in a state of great, could be distress, definitely feeling very restless, feeling very unfulfilled, and we need to take ownership of how we can change things, where we can change things, because sometimes we can't change everything. It's not like that. Life's not like that, but where we can, what to keep your eye on. A new beginning. This is a new phase. Beautiful. Ace of Swords, new way, framing reality. It's a new truth. All beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But this is new. This is like what's happening prior up to this point, not going to be happening anymore. Okay? And the action you should take in the near future. This is the Page of Swords reverse. And in the reverse, this indicates, because swords are truth, swords are communication, right? It's an air energy. It's you guys, right? This tells me, though, you're not going to be doing much talking about everything. You're going to be keeping things a little close to the chest. Okay? I mean, and this is the recommendation, the action. Okay? And that's the interpretation of it in this position for this kind of spread is whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're moving forward, you need to understand you're still in the incubation phase. You're still incubating as far as what works for you and what doesn't work for you in relationships. You know pretty much, and you know what, Gemini, honestly, this might be all you need is to really identify what you don't want. Because you don't want to be one of those people where it's like, this is my do and do not list. You know what I mean? Because then it's all like a little too micromanaged in that way. But I feel like you guys are not even fully in touch with all that you don't want. And I feel like you're in, again, that incubation phase, but don't talk about it to anybody just yet. Don't make it, for those of you who are in relationships, don't go to your partner and start spewing all of the reasons why you're unhappy in the relationship just yet. Really kind of put your ducks in a row as far as what it is that you need, and what it is that doesn't work for you, and align those before doing anything. And while you're doing this, you're going to be very much in this moon energy. I mean, this is the outcome position, which is beautiful. I mean, this is great because this is about you. You know, those of you who watch me know I have a very Jungian approach to this. Carl Jung, the psychologist, where it's like really kind of unpeeling the layers of what's deep inside of us that maybe we haven't wanted to be totally honest with ourselves about because psychologically maybe we weren't ready to handle those elements of self-truths about the core of who we are and what our desires and needs really are. It's all based in fear, which is human and normal. And this is all of this is really okay, healthy, and awesome. Okay? But this is about, you know, recognizing why we let certain people in our life, why we made choices that we did, why did we sabotage certain things that we did. Getting really honest, but getting down to, it's not just saying, well, I know I did that, and I know I have to stop doing that. All right, that's great. I mean, that's great. But do you understand why? You know, and it's really getting to the core of where did that even come from? For some of us, it might mean looking back at your childhood and your view of your understanding and your learning grounds for where you learned about relationship. For others of you, you might have had an awesome family, but maybe you had some really lousy relationships over the course of time, you know, that ended up putting you in a space of questioning your self-worth, even though it might not have even been conscious, in your unconscious, you know, and this is common. We have this unconscious level of lacking self-acceptance, this subconscious, for lack of a better term, self-hatred. Where did that come from? You know, you could say, I know I'm amazing. I know I'm a good person. I wake up, I do good things each day. I go to work. I try to treat everyone in my life with kindness and respect. I have values. I try not to hurt people the best of my ability. I'm sure I do. I don't mean to, whatever. And you're doing all these things and you're like, I'm a good person. And you're telling yourself all this stuff and you even feel it on a certain level. But, you know, underneath all of that, very often, you don't recognize patterns in your life. If you've been in cycles of sabotage or cycles of toxic relationship, toxic behaviors, anything like that, almost always underneath that is some sort of sense of self-hatred because something was seated there a very long time ago. And this is where we're talking like deep, like Black Moon Lilith energies. We're talking like South Node energies here, guys, you know? So if you don't know what those placements are, definitely check out your chart. Look at where your Black Moon Lilith is placed and what your South Node is coming out of. Yeah, but so lots of growth here. Growth and honesty. Growth and honesty. Yeah, all right. To go into career. Yeah, but you're going to do a lot of looking at yourself, and Uranus isn't going to have it any other way. I mean, that's just the thing about Uranus. A lot of people get scared of Uranus. I don't know. You can't really be scared of any of the planets, right? We need all of them in order to grow. Nothing's scary. Some of it's just uncomfortable, you know? There's no such thing as negative, this, that. It's the ebb and flow of life, guys. You can't appreciate day if you don't have night. You can't appreciate being happy if you don't have some sadness. It's just the way it is, you know? It's just the way it is. It's all good. It really is. So let's see what's happening for your career. We do have Jupiter conjunct Pluto from March to November for you guys. So this influence magnifies your ambitions to better yourselves to your circumstances for sure. I mean, you are going to be like doggedly determined to make improvements, Gemini. I mean, it might take things too far with the combination and occurring in the sign of Capricorn. This can relate to power. So you just want to make sure, I was mentioning before, like this intensity of feelings and emotions. You want to watch out for intense ambitions, you know, make sure you channel your energies appropriately. But definitely a very strong, powerful period for achievement. Like, no joke, guys. Honestly, March to November. You want to take something to a complete new level. Whichever ways we define success at this time in our lives here for you guys, you're ready to do whatever it takes to achieve it. So there's a real sense that you can achieve something of incredible significance right now. So you might focus this energy on an important project, or focus it inward on bettering yourself through greater self-understanding. Overcoming obstacles can definitely be figured very strongly here. But you're in really good shape right now, Gemini, to go deep in advancing your goals. Really attracting the support that you need, right? So if you want to start a new business, you're going to get the support that you need. If you need a partner, you're going to end up finding a business partner. You're going to end up crossing paths with people who are going to really kind of fit the bill. And you're going to enjoy a deeper connection with a project, with people at work. So while the Saturn and Pluto conjunction in January asks you to cut out inauthentic paths from your life, Jupiter-Pluto now helps you to rebuild it and reinvent yourself in these areas. So your confidence, fairly like amps up as you embrace these desires you never even knew you had before to pursue. And it's going to bring you on a really new, very empowering path. A lot of you are even going to be like getting really super smart with your money. Focusing on and developing your intimate life and expression, the way you connect to somebody deeply. You're just going to be learning how to like handle resentment and jealousy and anger more to your benefit, just as like really good, in any of these areas, but even in career. So good. Current, and this is your core. Page of Cups, yay. Beautiful. What to keep your eye out for. Hangman, okay. The action you should take in your near future. The Devil energy. All right, I'm not mad at that. And then we have the Knight of Wands in your outcome position, again, based on the current energies. So we got this Page of Cups as you're in your core. So no question about it. I mean, we're getting this in the core for this new beginning, Gemini. You are ready to give your cup, right, to this new path. You're ready to start a new path. Now, listen, for a lot of us, it could be within the same area. It doesn't have to mean a whole new career by any stretch at all, but it could just mean not only a different approach, but it could be changing departments. It could be getting a raise in position. Maybe you're part-time, you're going to go full-time. Maybe it really could be so many things, but there is a definitive change in the career path here, and you being absolutely ready for it. Now, what to keep your eye on is the Hangman energy, and the Hangman is about you kind of pressing the pause button and looking at everything around you and really trying to evaluate everything. There could be a tendency to overthink here, and you really are going to be pushed to take some chances and really... the energy is going to support you taking some chances this year, Gemini, right? So you want to keep an eye out for any tendency you might have to actually overthink something, because you don't want to overthink something out of existence. Okay, you just don't want to do that. Now, the action you should take in the near future, the Devil energy. Now, let's talk about this. You're like, what? Should I start becoming obsessed about something and to an unhealthy degree? No. What this does indicate, though, is this shows extreme, like an unweighted kind of ability in one area or another. So, typically when we read this in like a standard, like intimate read or whatever, it indicates addictions. But what is addiction? Addiction is imbalance, right? So it's drinking too much, it's doing too many drugs, it's eating too much, it's, over obsession regarding sex, spending too much money, too much, right? So that's basically what it is, right? If, we're honest about it, that's what it is. It's just this level of imbalance. So here, the action that you should take in the near future is understanding that wherever you haven't been giving enough balance, you're going to have to do some compensation for. And what I mean by this is, if let's say you've been working and you've been really, in your mind, doing your day-to-day best, trying to get ahead. This is you recognizing that the way you've been doing things thus far is not working. Because I always say, right, and I said this, been saying this in all the videos, what is the definition of insanity? We all know is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And even if we think that we're putting ourselves out there, there's got to be an element missing. So if you really have to look at, have you been... nose to the grindstone enough? Have you been expanding your thoughts enough? This has been pushing you to step out of a space of balance for a bit when it comes to your career and really throw yourself in a certain direction so that the payoff is had later on. So in almost an unhealthy way, I mean, the suggestion is get ready. You're going to be putting in a lot of hours at work. You're going to be ruminating and almost to a point of obsession about how it is that you're going to plan things out. There's going to be a lack of balance here, Gemini, but this lack of balance is necessary. Now, this does not mean that you never this is the warning with Leo energy as well, is that you're going to have this sense of imbalance and that you're going to have to go back and actually, remember to take breaks and stuff like that. You're going to have to remember to do that. But that's not to say that this isn't going to happen. Like, there needs to be you throwing yourself into, all right, you know what? I want to pay off my debt. I'm going to take the bull by the horns and I'm going to do this. I really want to change my career. I know that it's going to require me burning the candle at both ends for a time period. And this is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to just throw myself into this 100%. This is really pulling yourself out of your comfort zone. Really pulling yourself out of your comfort zone. And that's all the devil energy is within all of us. The devil energy is the lower vibration of all of us where imbalance lives, okay? But you have to understand, all of life, there's an ebb and flow kind of thing, okay? So having to do with the career, I'm 100% getting that this is you understanding that you're just going to have to really throw yourself into it in order to see the benefit of it later on. But you have so many supportive energies while you're going through this, and you are going to be able to take these breaks and level things out. But you have to understand that you're not going to feel 100% balanced right now. You're not in career. But it's all, and I don't feel like it's even going to be a negative thing for you. Like, feeling wise, you're not going to feel like, I don't sense that you're going to burn out, because I sense that you're going to feel so passionately about this that you're just going to make it happen. But just understand that while you're doing this in your career, you're not going to have enough room and space in your head for complicated relationships or challenging friendships or like pain in the neck family members who just require way more of you than they should be requiring or anything like that, however it resonates with you. But there's definitely going to be this imbalance in your life regarding you working towards your career because it is taking off, Gemini. You understand? So you want to be able to set everything up, and it's just going to require a lot of busyness. You're going to be very busy. Very busy. If you're opening yourself up to everything, you're going to be very, very busy. Right? And the outcome position we have is the Knight of Wands. It's like, look out, here you come. Look out, here you come. This is motivation. This is determination. This is willingness. This is here I come, honestly. And that sounds very dramatic, but that is what this energy means, particularly in this reading. So this is all 100% positive. And understand that this is temporary, in that if we're talking about a span of time, guys, 2020, there is so much happening for Geminis. Okay, Capricorn, Cancer, Gemini, and Sagittarius, if you guys have those placements in any of those other charts, big changes. Cancer, Capricorn are finally getting this eclipse the heck out of their position. So they're finally going to feel the culmination of their changes and a lightness. And then it goes into Sagittarius, Gemini, where it's like, the North Node heads into Gemini. It's coming with the South Node is opposite, Sagittarius is going to be there. But you guys are going to be working together. Now it's going to be your time for this incredible leveling up and changing. So there is so much change, especially for you guys this year. This is really, really good, though, Gemini. I really like this for you. This is entirely positive, and please take it as such. It's not going to be the easiest from day to day. It's not, but where it's going is all really good, and just know that and hold on to that, okay? For sure. Happy New Year, guys. I wish you guys the most incredible 2020. Honestly, I'll see you guys next week for the January read, okay? This is for the year. We'll just do January next week. Okay, until then, bye-bye.